Hey VC, how's it going? I've just watched Fred's video for 1977. Yeah, great list. To be perfectly honest, I could have picked any one of those 10 records to show. I've actually got 10 different records, not just to be different, to be perfectly honest, just the fact that there's so much good stuff come out in 77. And it's all stuff that I've played a lot over the years, so I thought as well, might as well show it. So I'll kick off some reggae. 2-7 Clash by Culture. This is their debut record. It's a roots reggae album, albeit perhaps a lighter roots reggae than a lot of the other stuff around at the time. It was certainly I think it's probably the first roots record that I got into. I actually first heard the title track, I think played on the radio by Don Letts a number of years ago. But yeah, it's yeah, a great album. The title refers to a prediction by Marcus Garvey that the apocalypse would occur on the 7th of July 1977. So 7th of the 7th, 77, hence the 2-7s Clash. But yeah, the whole album's good. It is a little bit of a mixture of styles, but yeah, it's just a classic reggae album. I've got a few reggae albums actually to show. I think that 77 was a golden year of reggae. This one in particular is one of my favourite reggae records. This is a Lee Perry production, Heart of the Congos by the Congos. This is a reissue on Miles Ahead in Reggae Music. I've never heard that label before, but I actually picked up this record years ago. I don't know, probably 15-16 years ago. I went on a trip to New York with a friend. He was a massive U2 fan, so we actually went to see U2 in New York. PJ Harvey supporting. That's the main reason I went. This was before I got married and had a house and a family, so I couldn't afford to do it now. But you know, when I was young and single. But yeah, while I was there, I actually went to try and find Cox and Dodd's record shop in Brooklyn. Cox and Dodd, obviously the founder of Studio One. I didn't find the shop, made a complete hash of where I was going, got totally lost. But what I did find was a record shop, and as I walked in, they were playing this album. He was actually Fisherman off this record. I knew what it was straight away, so I took it as a sign to buy it. So yeah, so Heart of the Congos by the Congos. Right, one more reggae record, another Lee Perry production, Police and Thieves by Junior Mervyn. Again, another one of my favourite reggae albums, certainly one of my favourite Lee Perry productions. Obviously most people will know the title track, Police and Thieves. The Clash obviously covered it. It became a bit of an anthem in '76, which is when the single first came out, following the riots at the Notting Hill Carnival, from what I understand. And that's basically why the Clash went on to cover it. Almost a bit of social commentary in effect. But yeah, so following the success of the single, this album was put together. It's pretty much backed by the Upsetters, with obviously Junior Mervyn's vocal. Strangely, the single came out again in the UK in I think about 1980. I just remember, not from the time, but I do remember seeing a clip of him performing Police and Thieves on Top of the Pops, which is quite strange. But yeah, but a great album. Once again, any of those three albums are essential reggae records. Right, so I mentioned the Clash there, and I know Fred showed the first Clash album. A great debut album. I must admit, I prefer the later Clash stuff, so hence why I'm not going to show it today. When it comes to punk stuff in 1977, my choice is the Stranglers' fourth album. This has got stuff like Hanging Around, Peaches, Get a Grip on Yourself. Stranglers at this point were just an absolutely fantastic band. They were sort of doubted a little bit in the music press for whether they were punks or not, just purely because they were a little bit older. They'd been around a little bit longer. They'd previously been part of the UK pub scene in the mid-70s, so lumped in with the likes of Dr. Feelgood, which I showed in the last video. But yeah, this is a great punk album. For any budding bass players out there, not necessarily the playing, but JJ Burnell's bass sound on this record is just immense. So Sounds like his amp's broken, but in a good way. But yeah, just a great punk album from the time, and this would be my choice of a punk record from 1977. Right, slightly different tip now. Fleetwood Mac Rumours. I mentioned before about my my love of these three albums, the White Fleetwood Mac album, Rumours, and Tusk. In my 1975 video, everybody knows this record. It sold a shit ton of records. The songs have been played to death on the radio, so I don't really need to say much about it. But yeah, a great album. You know, whether it's been overplayed or not, I don't know. But it's yeah, great record. Right, John Martin, One World. This is one of my favourite John Martin records. Stuff on it like Couldn't Love You More, Small Hours, Big Muff. A lovely record, great playing throughout, great songs. This is an original pressing on Ireland. Yeah, at this sort of point in his career, he's relying on heavily on the guitar effects, the loops, that sort of stuff that he was using at the time. Yeah, just an incredible guitarist, as well as having that distinctive voice. You know, when we talk about guitarists, he's definitely up there, just because he has such a unique playing style and what he did with his sound. So yeah, I'd recommend this to anyone. John Martin, One World. Okay, first soul record I'm going to put in here is the Al Green, The Bell album. If I was to pick a favourite song of all time, it would be Let's Stay Together by Al Green. I love that high record sound, the Willie Mitchell production, the you know, the high house band, just a great sound, and of course Al Green's voice. Now this is a slightly different record because it's the first record that he made after ditching the high studio band. He produced this record himself. He got rid of Willie Mitchell, and it's almost a case of getting rid of all the key ingredients that made his music sound good. But you know, it's quite the opposite, really. It is a different sound. It's one of his last secular records. Shortly after this, he was pretty much just solely went down the gospel route. But yeah, this is a great album. I came across this via a compilation CD which was put together by Paul Heaton out of the Beautiful South and the House Martins, and he included the track All in All, which is probably the only religious song on the record. But yeah, it's just so joyous, a great song, and that's what made me look at the album. Yeah, over the years I've bought a hell of a lot of compilations. I like it when people make me CDs or compilations as well, just really try and point in the direction of other music. It's very easy just to listen to the same stuff again and again. Yeah, and this was very much a case where I came across an absolute gem on the back of listening to a compilation put together by somebody. But yeah, Al Green's Bell album. This is obviously on the high label still, but 1977. I definitely recommend picking this up if you like soul music. Okay, this is Eddie Hazel. His solo album from '77. This is my favourite of the P-Funk spin-offs, the solo projects. Stuff on here like California Dreaming, Frantic Moment, I Want You, She's So Heavy, the Beatles tune from Abbey Road. Yeah, I mean, obviously his guitar sound is just so distinctive. So yeah, it's just that really laid back, you know, funk sound that you'd expect from Funkadelic, Parliament. But yeah, this is an original copy it's on Warner Brothers, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, great record. Right. Okay, I know that Fred showed Eno's Before and After Science. This is Cluster and Eno's record from '77. Yeah, I really like this record. This is the Four Men with Beards reissue from, I don't know, what is it, be about 2007, 2008. A really nice record. It's obviously krautrock, but whereas your standard krautrock record, you know, from just going to sort of generalise here, they do tend to be drawn out tracks, you know, just drawn out songs which are allowed to develop that sort of piece of music. Whereas here, you've got is it 4 or 5 tracks on each side, so much shorter, much more condensed krautrock pieces, which really works. I think that's probably the thing that really attracts me to this record. You know, the thing that I really like about krautrock, that ability to develop a piece of music and let it grow over, you know, over sometimes a side of vinyl, is quite the opposite here. These are almost single length krautrock pieces. So yeah, a nice record. And this has got a nice pressing as well. So yeah, good stuff. They put out another album in '78 as well, another collaboration, which is also worth picking up, and also out on Four Men with Beards. Right, and finally, this. Right, Lee Hazelwood. Moving on. Not necessarily his best album, and his albums are a bit patchy, to be perfectly honest. But I love Lee Hazelwood's voice. I love his songwriting, and obviously his interpretations of other people's songs as well. He's probably best known for the stuff that he did with Nancy Sinatra, the whole Nancy and Lee thing. But in the '70s, he moved to Sweden. He made some really interesting solo records. This one is actually one of the last solo records he made before almost retiring for the best part of 20 years. But this has got a lot of cover versions on here. Let's Burn Down the Cornfield, the Randy Newman song, the Rising Star by Bob Saunders, which was one of the best tracks on the album. But he's only written a couple of songs for the record, but the highlight for me is a song called Come On Home to Me, which is a Lee Hazelwood composition. I love that deep gravelly voice of his, and it just, yeah, I don't know, I had to show a Lee Hazelwood record in amongst these lists. Thinking about it, I should probably have showed the soundtrack from How Safe for Tigers from '75, but didn't think about it at the time, so I'm shoehorning this Lee Hazel record in. So there you go, that was 1977. Cheers.